So my voice might be weird today, but I'm still gonna go over your VOD for you. Oh, okay. So hopefully, I think you can see my epic pin. Okay, you can. Okay. Use throw.
Defend objective A.
Come on, PC. Holy shit. So every time I launch up Overwatch, like the first 5 minutes, it's like really, my frames drop. It's really weird. Okay. So first off, right off the bat, let's see where you play as Hanzo.
Defend objective A.
Oh my goodness, computer. Okay, Overwatch is still waking up. I don't know why it does this. Okay.
Defend objective A.
Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, never mind, we're good. Okay, so off at the bat, I think what I see is that you're going with your tanks to get maybe this high ground over here, which isn't bad, but when your team pushing in, it's always good to hold like an off angle, especially as a Hanzo, because you can just spam from afar. But I see why you're going up here, because if you just get high ground for free, you're good. See what your Zen is doing? That's what you should be doing. And then your team like gives up halfway. Okay. You need to be high ground. There's no reason for you not to be on high ground, or at least like up here. Because in reality, the only person that they on the enemy team that can really damage you is maybe their Zen or Ana. So whenever you get the chance, you either want to go on high ground, you're gonna be playing like an off angles, and you can even like go for a flank over here if you're feeling like confident. But what you're doing right now isn't terrible, but it's not the most optimal position you can be in. Let me make sure. I just updated OBS. Okay, so it is. Feel good. I think you need to be on high ground. That way, if you need to be on high ground because you're just taking the spam from the team, and you could be honestly getting up in here, spamming the supports, forcing them to go back, playing a safer angle, or honestly just holding right here, shooting at their Rhine. You need to be in high ground. Either that or an off angle. It's fine that you pushed up.
Greetings.
Okay, so that tag wasn't bad because your team, you out damaged them from afar because like the enemy team never properly engaged on you because that would be the speed, and they never really got their Reaper in a lot of position. God, that's annoying. So I think you should have taken an off angle because I think it would have made things a lot smoother, or at least getting on this high ground just for spam. It would have given you a better angle on them.
Objective lost.
It's just like what you did wasn't bad. It's just it wasn't the most optimal position you could be in. Okay, so you have ult. Your Zarya is like 50% away. So in reality with Hanzo, you can farm up 2 dragons in the amount of time it takes a Zarya to farm up 1. Like 1 graph. So honestly here, if you get like a Sonic on them, you can honestly go for a dragon. Especially since you know they're already here. Yeah, what you do, you recognize that was good. The placement was off because you know that your team's pushing in here, so you want to be dragoning where the enemy team's gonna back into, not where they're leaving. Not the place where they're just about leaving. But I think that was because you didn't. I don't know if you knew your team was gonna push in on that. But usually with Hanzo, it's a little bit because right there, what you did is you split them off instead of actually going for the actual the best dragon you could have gone for. Let's see what. Let's see where you like placed it. Okay, so you don't have any sights on where they're at. You see your Rhine's low. See your Rhine going in. Yeah, okay, so that's just with playing Hanzo and just, I don't know, knowing I guess maybe a little bit more game sense of just knowing that the enemy team's already in a backing. They're already backing right now, and then that split second of you casting dragon is usually want to go a little bit past where you think they're gonna be, because it's gonna take you a second to cast dragon, so you always want to do it a little bit farther than where you think they're gonna be, because they could probably already move. So your placement of dragon was bad. You want to be shooting. You want to be basically what I'm saying is you want to be planning for where they're gonna back into, not where they were. And I don't know why you guys aren't. I guess you're not pushing up because Khart's not pushed up, but still. You guys could have played that aggressive and act on, because their Rhine was low. I don't know why you guys just stood here in the back. I think you could be sitting up here. The only person that can really punish you is Zen or Ana, and I think maybe just putting some hot shots in here would be better than right here. Or like playing up here, because you know that they're gonna want to push into you. Because if you guys aren't pushing past this corner, then it only leaves them to push into you. It's fine that you pressured Somber there, but that, I mean, you wasted Storm on her. Did you have Storm? Okay, so you saw Sombra going up there. Yeah, don't use your Storm on Sombra. You should be able to hit that kind of shot. Because you want to be saving your Storm for tanks. I mean, like, you guys are already winning the fight. There's no tanks left for you to shoot, but I don't know. I don't know. Because she's going to translocate after you hit one shot on her, so just wasting your cooldown on her, which is, I mean, it's fine, because you guys already won the fight, so you'll have it up by the time of next fight. But I don't know. I just think using Stormo there instead of going for a one-shot, it would have been in your best interest to go for a one-shot, because then at least you could kill her, instead of her just translocating back after one Storm Arrow, because a headshot on a Storm Arrow doesn't one-shot. It brings something like 150, 175. It's like a Mercury headshot. Good, you're on high ground. That's where you should be. I would be careful about Zen. Or no, they don't have a Zen anymore, so you're good. Why did you shift? Why'd you space off of it? You're like, oh shit, grab? Let me just get off high ground real quick, so now so now that I can't follow up in the grab. Dude, why'd you shift off? Or not shift, why'd you double jump off? What are you doing? You're like, oh. Oh, okay, so 1. Why are you wasting your jump? 2. When you jump all the way over there, you're now in a position to where you don't have the advantage over them, and you can't follow up into the graph, or you can't even shoot the people who aren't even in graph. Why would you do that? Because then now you're off high ground. That's a good shot on Reaper. I don't know. That was just unneeded. Like, you could have just stayed on high ground and just shoot up here instead of go here. Because if they had used Bappin more, then you could have not used. Then you weren't in a position to like use Storm Arrow to break down Bappin more. So that I don't get why you did that. I get it a little bit, because I kind of like, I see grab, I'm like, oh, it's the kill. Let me just do a sick jump off this high ground and grab into them because it'll look cool in the play. But you gave up an advantage point, and then if they had just used him more, I mean, your team could have broken it, but still, like, you weren't in a position to follow up on the damage. Okay, so you have to be careful playing up here, because if your team abandons you and doesn't hold up here, then you're fucked. But this is usually a good position for you to hold. Nice shot on Reaper. You jumped off. Okay, so you don't wanna you wanna be okay, so you don't when you're falling off of something, and this is a mistake that I do a lot, and it's actually gotten me killed a lot. So let's think if a widow was watching this angle. Instead of just dropping instead of just dropping over here like a normal person, you waste your I don't know what to call it, your double I'm just gonna call it a double jump or your I guess, well, I would call it the dash. You waste your dash, and what it does is it puts you well, let me just move my camera. What it does is it puts you right here instead of just dropping out of line of sight. So if someone was holding on high ground, you would just be push yourself midair and then you would drop. And then now you don't have it for I think like it's like 5 seconds. Oh no, it's shorter. It's like 4. So then now you don't have it. And you don't want to get in the habit of using your movement or your kind of like Hanzo's escape dash off of high ground because it's like jumping off of high ground. It's the same concept. You don't want to be jumping off of high ground because you can put yourself in predictable movement. And if someone was watching that, then it would be easier to kill you instead of just dropping and using the cover. It's kind of like very picky of me to call you out on, but it's something that I've actually been getting a little bit punished for in scrims because I do it and I just because like Hanzo, I waste my dash all the time. Like I'm just using it when I shouldn't be using it. So when you're just getting off of high ground, you don't want to be using it like that. So I think what you do is you start getting pressured. And so what you see, this is my point. You instead of just dropping, okay, so you're getting pressured, all right? You're getting low. So instead of just dropping here to where they can't see you and then you're not going to get shot anymore, you jump out in the middle of the out in the open, and then the sniper can still keep shooting at you. If this is Zen was watching it or Baptiste, you'd be dead. Like you just put yourself out in the open. Like you just need to drop. There's no point in dashing out. I think I made my point. Let me read about this. Could be over here. You could go back up here. You could even take over here since your tanks are pushed up. I think the moment you see your tanks get past here, you should be immediately getting up into this high ground. Or at least getting on some form of high ground. Yeah. Let's watch that. Oh, that's that's so unfortunate. Oh my goodness. Okay. One, you dragged way too early. 2, that's just unfortunate. Did you have your dash up? I wonder. Oh, you hear him. That's unlucky. No, you didn't have your dash up. Where did you use dash?
Marked by the dragon.
Oh, you use it to... See, that's like... Okay. You have to be very careful when you use your dash like that. Because when you dash, when you could just walk, it just take you like half a second longer. It prevents you from escaping. It's like Hanzo's little escape tool. You don't want to just... I don't know. That was just... You used it to get a better angle when you could have just moved. And then you died. Because you didn't have it. You would have died either way. But because you didn't have it, you died a lot quicker. And then you waste dragon. You dragon way too early. Like you want to be dragoning like... Let's see. It's a good time. So they're almost all dead. And then you're like, okay, let's dragon. That's... No. No. What are you doing? They're not going to be able to spawn yet. You want to be dragoning about like right now. That's when you'll be dragoning spawn. Or at least like, you're going to be waiting.
Into the iris.
Like just use this, wait, be patient with it. Just wait and sonic a door or dragon about like right now because no one's alive, and so what you're doing is you're just wasting your dragon.
Apagando las luces.
You guys don't lose this, do you? Another thing is, if you were on high ground, this Reaper would have not killed you. If you're on this high ground. In a second, you waste your dragon. Like, you did it way too early. You gotta work on the timing of that. Because even then, even if you wanted to dragon their spawn, you want to at least like wait till they respawn in and go for it. Sonic the door, or just hold dragon and just dragon cart.
Back at you.
But you wasted it there. I'm gonna watch your
0
aim.
to 3. Triple.
What are you doing? You use Sonic. Boy, why'd you use Sonic there?
And again.
I mean, they're dead, but still, why are you using Sonic like that? So you could have Sonic'd right here.
See that which is unseen. Need healing.
Nice.
Never second guess odds and crusaders.
You're not fully charging your arrows, that's an issue.
Marked by the dragon.
I'm watching. Okay, I'm watching just to see what kind of help I can give you because I need to watch it, see if you're either. Because like what I do as Hanzo is my aim style is like very. I flick a lot more than I track. So I just want to see who you're tracking here. You're not really aimed at anyone.
Marked by the dragon. The enemy is here.
Double kill.
There is no
Okay, that was lucky.
an inspired performance.
Why'd you move to the right? Well, you know he's not gonna go left.
Be right back.
Okay. This is unfortunate. Okay.
See that which is unseen.
Okay, so you know Reaper's gonna come out. Why do you shoot Zarya? You can see him. Why do you just not go for the shot and just go for Zarya instead? You think you're not gonna get a charged arrow?
See that which is unseen.
Sorry, I'm trying something new. I'm trying to help with aim because a lot of yeah, you know he's going there, and you okay. Boy, what you doing? You know he's gonna come out. You have a full charged arrow. Why are you okay? Why are you coming out? Sorry. Okay. Anyway, Hanzo's a lot about knowing the arrows as well as just knowing how far you need to place your cursor ahead of them, when in storm and when in non-storm. So usually, like if, for example, let's say a target's like right here, you want to be like for storm, you probably want to be like right here. For a regular shot, if they're up close, you probably want to be like maybe a foot. Like I can show you in a second. I'll show you after. You guys win.
Scope
Okay.
round 1. 0.
So from watching first point, I think you need to get high ground a lot sooner, as well as just cooldown usage. You want to be using them to the best of your ability. You want to be just using them just to use them. Like you want to be, if Reaper's always on flanks, you want to be sonicking flanks. You want to be using your storm arrow to either burst down tank shield, or you want to either be using it to either just burst down tanks in general, just so you can charge your dragon.
With every death comes
Attackers
honor.
incoming.
Is it a scrim?
Honor, redemption. Marked.
She just TP'd. Yeah, this is scrim because she just TP'd from spawn. Damn, you guys could. No, this isn't a scrim. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know. This is a scrim. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, okay, maybe I just maybe it glitched. I don't know. Sometimes Overwatch is weird because I've never seen you play with these people. All right. So, if I was playing Hanzo, I'd probably be set up here because either A, I can sonic door, B, I can check if someone's gonna peek up here, and 3, I can wall climb, go for a headshot right here, or I can wall climb, use storm, and just spam the front door. You want to be charging. You want to be trying to get your dragon as fast as possible. Either that, or I'd be playing over here for a little bit. So you see that there's a Hanzo up top,
Attackers incoming in
and you're
30
in
seconds.
hotel for some
5,
reason.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Why are you not on high ground?
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Why are you not on high ground? What? Okay. First off, high ground control. That should be easy. This is like playing Widow. You want to be high ground. Second off. Why are you like right behind Orion? Because these, they're not. Why are they running Zenwara? Anyway, you want to be playing a little bit like right here, because you don't want to be right when they're gonna start pushing in fast. Because one, when you use your dash, you don't go very far, as well as you want to be keeping a distance. You're Hanzo. You're like a mid-range to long-range DPS. There's no reason, like this would be a perfect time for you to go for a flank, playing an off angle, playing over here, just spamming them when they get out. But I just, it's very like risky for you to be playing in here. You're playing it like you'd maybe play McCree. Because like if they just speed in and push you, you're fucked. You're going for shield break, but if you're gonna go for shield break, you could sit up here, high ground advantage. You could play right here, gives you a long angle plus cover. But you sitting right here, it doesn't give you it. If they just push really hard onto you guys, you're fucked. And also, like with your team comp, you're not really going for the brawl. You're going for like Hanzo pokes from afar. Maybe going for, honestly, with your comp, because Genji's really like absolutely. He's like air. He doesn't do a lot. He doesn't do a lot. And especially now they're running Pharah. You guys aren't gonna do a lot. So what you're gonna be doing is you're gonna be one, spamming them from afar, and then having your tanks act on them once they get close. Why are you playing here? You're giving them so much space. You want to be contesting high ground. Because now if you were holding up here, you could spam them from up here, and then you can also prevent like soldier from getting high ground or at least contest them. But now since you're playing so far back, soldier gets high ground for free, and then now they're gonna be able to take this whole area away from you guys, and then your Ana's probably gonna get fucked. And then now you're forced to either play like go for a flank, or you're forced to play with your team because you don't really have very good angles. They have high ground advantage over you. And see, like, Halt's very good at playing a different angle, or playing an off angle, playing it from high ground. Because if you can spam from afar and then let your team engage in your spam, then it's good. But if you're just spamming from your team, they're just probably most likely just gonna get shielded.
Get into position.
You see, you're not able to get many pot shots in. You're spamming for Ryan shield break. Yeah, your team is playing very weird. Okay, so you guys won. Perfect time. Go get high ground. Bar pressures you, just back off. Let's go into here. Or like take pot shots at her. I think honestly, since you're playing over here, best thing for you to do is go on flank. Because if you're not gonna hold high ground, you're not gonna be you're either a shield breaking bot, which I mean like the reason why Hanzo is so good in certain senses because he's very mobile. He's very good at if he's on high ground. He's very deadly. But just why is he emoting? You can't get the most you're not in the most optimal position. Yeah, you're on him. Kinda fucked you over there. This is a very weird. This is very strange. Very, very strange. Okay, you're coming back. Also, dragon usage. I wanna watch that again. That's not bad, but it's just like, do you have Sonic? Or have you just used it? Okay, you use Sonic. Tip. Sonic the Rhine. Back off. Get in position to go for a dragon. Because now you're just blindly using it. I mean, what you're doing right now is you're preventing them to push on your Rhine, which, I mean, that's a fine use. It's fine. It's not a bad use of dragon. But what, again, if you had sights on them, or if you realized that your Rhine was pushing in, you wouldn't be able to see that they were going to back up. And then you could have gone, you could have either forced them to either go back over here, or force them to go into your dragon. Because your Rhine's going to start pushing. My door? Your Rhine's going to start pushing them back. I don't know. It was a terrible use of dragon, but it's just it could be better. You know what I mean? Man, this is a weird game. Okay, they're coming back with a lot of ults. You guys don't have a lot of ults. You also don't have grab dragon, which you probably should have saved dragon for anyway. See, here's the issue. The reason why it's really good for Hanzo to off angle or have anyone off angle is because one, it creates a crossfire, and two, if all the damage is only coming from like a center point right here, it makes it a whole lot easier for the enemy team to push in really quickly on you. Because all they have to do is they have to shield and they use bubble, and then they just negate your damage. You're not going to get a lot of damage through. But if you're playing from up here with your Ana, playing from right here with your Ana, you create this crossfire where they either have to pick which group they're going to commit their resources to, and they're also going to waste resources because now you're putting in damage from behind them, and then they're putting in damage from them. And so it puts your team in a better optimal position because now you're actually a threat. But the issue is when you're playing with your team, you're not as big as a threat because it's easier for them to just negate your damage because they're going in with shield, they're going with bubble. So all they have to do is they just have to hold shield against you, and you don't do anything as Hanzo. You can break their shield, but you don't break it that quickly to stop an engagement. And so it's one of the reasons why it's not always the best to play with your team as Hanzo. You're not getting the most value. You're not putting your team in the best position. Because you're playing in two groups right now. You have the whole group, and then you have Ana. And so with Hanzo, instead of going on a flank or playing from back here or playing from up here and creating like a crossfire, creating a different angle, creating a different threat, you're not as big as a threat as if you were like on high ground or from behind them. You're just not as big as a threat. You're not pressuring them enough. You don't do enough. Cause see, like right here, when they have like a lot of ults like this, they know that. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. But you get what I'm pointing at here. See, it's easier for the enemy team to attack an area when everyone's already in the same area because it makes the engagement a little easier because there's only one threat to think about. But when you play over here or up here or go on a flank, it creates two threats. It makes the enemy team have to pick which one they're going to engage on. It creates pressure. It creates a crossfire. You get on a crossfire, you do a lot more damage. You're a bigger threat. But when you're playing behind your Reinhardt, you're only as you're only as much of a threat as much as the if you're actually aiming, actually like aiming at the targets behind the shield and just waiting for the shield to go down. But you're just not as big as a threat as if you're playing from here and spamming, because then it gives your team you're putting more pressure on them. You're getting more value, and your team is able to act better on that value. Then you're just not as getting as much value from just playing behind a shield. Because it allows them to push in, and then there's only one threat. There's only one group that the enemy team has to worry about. See, like there's nothing for you to do. The Ryan can just hold shield, and you're fucked. Like if this was a good team, they'd be running like more Lucio, Echo, and then they could be running like a soldier getting high ground against you. But it makes it easier. You gotta get what I'm saying. I think I've explained it well enough. Like they just speed onto you, you're fucked. You're not a threat to them when they just speed and hold shield against you. You can't deal enough damage. You can't break their shield fast enough. You're just not a threat. You're not getting good value. But when you're behind them, say up here, or you're up here, or you're up here somewhere where it creates like you're on a different angle from your team, it's now a crossfire. You're now a threat. You're now putting pressure on them instead of when you're behind them, you're not putting as much pressure. You're not that big of a threat. Because if your team's playing here and you're holding on higher ground, the Ryan has to decide who's he's gonna shield and who's he gonna commit on. I think I explained that well enough. So then you're just like, I'm gonna die. Just the correct decision to do. But you could have done a lot more. You could have been a bigger threat on this map. But instead you held over here when you could have been holding up here, up here, up here, just creating pressure points, creating crossfires, like you going behind here. Like you could have been such a big threat, getting more value, putting more pressure. But instead you're not a threat when the Ryan can just shield against you. It's like, how do I explain this? It's like, it's a good example. Just like think about it. If a Widow's not gonna go on high ground, where she'd get a better angle and she'd create a lot more pressure and be a bigger threat, if she's not gonna go on high ground and she just plays behind her team, it's a lot easier for the enemy team to deal with her. Because then they only have to worry about one section of the map. They only have to worry about one group. But if she's over here, creating a whole separate different angle from her team, she's now a bigger threat. Because if the enemy team doesn't decide to shield her, they don't deal with her, to put resources into her, then she's going to get a lot more value from just playing behind her Reinhardt. Or from not playing on high ground. Like if she's playing up here, she'd be getting tons of value. It's like, when you're attacking this point, it's really good to take control over here or up here because you just gain such a big advantage. And you're just not holding that. You're giving up space for free, as well as you're not putting a lot of pressure, you're not doing enough, so to speak. You're not in the optimal position. Hopefully I explained that well. If I didn't, let me know. But
Objective lost.
you could be positioned a lot better. See here. Playing up here. Just going for some spam. Even just for a short period of time, just going up here and just spamming from afar is giving you value. You're creating a threat, and it allows your team to push in because now the Ryan has to focus on you, and it puts less focus on your Reinhardt. Because now the fights, okay, so now there's two groups that the enemy team has to deal with rather than just one. Sorry. could be getting a lot more value too. Oh, that's so sad. Like you could just be a bigger threat on this map than you are. Because right now you're playing very safe, you're playing very defensive, you're playing kind of passive. Like think about it. Who's the what's a think about like an Overwatch. Like who's just think about how big of a threat you can be. Like if a Hanzo who has good aim goes on a flank, he can kill half of your team. I've had my Hanzo on like Rialto where they're pushing in first point in that little choke area. And he just goes on he just goes in behind them, creates a separate angle. Now they have to focus on him, otherwise he can kill the rest of his tanks. He's a huge threat and he's putting so much pressure on them. And they have to now commit resources on him. And he can actually get a lot of value from playing a different angle. It's like playing Widow against a Reinhardt and the entire team's just playing behind their Reinhardt. You need to get another angle because otherwise you're just gonna be staring at a shield or you're just gonna be breaking a shield and you're just gonna be at the same angle that your team is, which isn't really the best position where you could be. It's not giving you an advantage point. Usually when you have the mobility, it's like playing Baptiste. You want to be either playing separate from your team or you want to be playing in better like an advantage point or in better position because you have the abilities to get in a better position than your team does. Like Ryan Zarya, they don't have the abilities to get on high ground sometimes or on some maps. Like they don't have the ability to play it from here or play up here. They're very ground. But with you, like you have tons of mobility. You could be creating separate angles for your team. You don't always want to be playing. It's like playing Pharah, Lijiang Tower, not Gardens, Night Market. They send Telly. I'm just gonna draw it. This is the point. They TP Sim up here. Now Sim's all set up here on this map, on the point. And your team has two options. Either you try and break 3, which is gonna be very hard because now you're gonna be trying to push into where Sim already has turrets and everything set up. But you switch to Pharah because Pharah is a really good counter against Sim. But then you play Pharah and you hold the same fucking angle as your team, you're not going to get anything done. It's like playing. It's just you're not going to get anything done. You're not going to be getting the most value. If you play Pharah and flank behind and spam from an angle over here or over here, you're getting so much value. You're a bigger threat. The enemy team now has to focus on you and your team. You're getting less of the pressure off of your team, which is allowing them to push in, and you're getting more damage in because now it's either they have to move a shield towards you, they have to either commit like a Orisa shield, Sig shield, they have to turn, or otherwise you could just poke from behind them for free and you're just poking free damage. Because now the threat of shield, it's either they shield, and unless they're playing double shield, they either shield you or they shield your team. And it puts them in this position, which is really good. And you want to be being a threat. So as far you never want to be playing the same angle as your team because you're not going to be getting the value. It's not the optimal position for you to be playing, and you're not doing your job. You're looking at a shield when you could be looking from behind them or from a different angle, which would give you more value. It's like Widow. You don't want to be playing behind your team. You want to be going on flanks. You want to be going taking control of high ground, getting different angles. Hopefully I explained that well. Hopefully you get what I mean. Fine Dragon. Nice kill on Pharah. I don't know if you really want me to look at your aim, because I can, and I can give you like pointers. But I'm mostly just focusing on your positioning, decision making, that sort of thing, because I think that's far more important, especially if you want to get the masters. It's just ability usage, positioning, being a threat, pressure. Like there's a lot of things. So you could be sitting on high ground, right here. It gives you such a better angle. You going up here, which is great. This is good. You're becoming a threat. This is what you should be doing. Not too long. You're Because you're playing so much with your team. And it's just not putting you in an advantage point. As any sniper, you want to be constantly thinking about the advantage point. Like, how can I get an advantage over the team? How can I put myself in a better position than them so that I can do my job? I can get more value. Positioning is a big deal in this game.
Физкульт, привет.
I actually did a screenshot. See, like, holding up here, you're farther from your team, but you're creating a threat. Because now you can either get shots over them, you're holding high ground, which gives you the advantage, instead of holding here. Like, it's just not as strong.
60 seconds remaining.
Either that or make,
Got you in my sights.
I don't know, holding here is not any better. So now you guys are gonna lose this. Because one, you guys don't have enough pressure on them to stop them from pushing in. I don't want to be rude, but how did you miss
60
those shots?
seconds remaining.
Got you in my sights.
I'm glad you didn't dragon, because honestly, I might have considered using dragon here. Your team was already dead by the time you used those anyways.
Has reached the checkpoint.
Aim down! Aim! Look! Look at the target! Honestly, jump off. Jump off the map. You're gonna die.
I am healed.
Oh, you should have died. Okay. I would go Ash here, but you're playing Hanzo, which is fine. Let's see if you actually take control of high ground, which you should be doing. And you're not. Oh my goodness. Get on high ground. What are you doing? Over here's this is fine. But this is good. And this is good too. Oh my goodness. Khart. You should have dragon from cover, honestly.
This will heal you. Dein Schutzengel rains from above. Onward.
60 seconds remaining.
Nice. Okay. Let's watch this. My voice today is awful. I don't know what is up. Okay, you got booped off. You decided to save here, which is good. Jump off. Okay, so I wouldn't hop out while you're in cast. Like, you don't need to see them. You know where they are. Just use it from cover because you don't, maybe Ash, if there's a Widow or if Ash can hit get a fucking shot, or if there's another Hanzo enemy team, you could have been dead. You know what I mean? Okay, you could have killed that far. You just need to be more patient with your shots. You're also at a disadvantage because you're playing Hanzo into far Ash. Okay, Junkrat, or not Junkrat. Lucas, let's go.
Only through conflict do we evolve.
I would have right clicked out of spawn. Okay. This is particular of me to call this out, but this is just recognizing. This is just analyzing. What is the best thing for me to do at this moment? So you come out. Let's watch your PV so I can see if you knew they were gonna be on point. Okay, so you didn't know your team was gonna be on point, which is fine. You go for more. You get her to use Fade. But it also... it would have been better just to go for Zarya there. Then you died for it. Because look at it. Moore's just gonna fade. I was about to say, you uppercut, go into higher ground, but you couldn't see that your team was gonna touch.
Payload is approaching its destination.
It's just, it's, you know, it's kind of, it's pointless to go on a Moira when you know she has Fade. I mean, you forced Fade out of her, but you also died. I mean, Zarya had personal bubble, but you could have... Oh, what the... Why are you a soldier here? What are you doing? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go back. Just show you optimal thing. What you could have done. If your team had said they were gonna touch and were vocal about it. Remember, I can't move. Let me back up so I can see everything. I would have uppercut up here, killed Mercy, and then dropped down. Because by the time your team goes to cart, they should have forced Zarya to use personal. And then it would have put you on the advantage of high ground, and then you can drop down. But I think you panicked and you didn't realize your team was going to point.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Ash is dead, but Mercy's still up there. You should probably know this. I think you can see her too as well. No, you can't. Okay, never mind. But like that's just common sense. Like if Mercy's usually gonna be with their Ash. You go for Moira. Zarya forces. Zarya, you force. Okay, you force Fade. Force Bubble. This is where I would. Oh, where'd you use? Okay, you used right click to get the point. That's a mistake.
Payload is approaching its destination.
Why'd you use right click there? Okay, that's what fucked you over. Because I was like, you just E in, uppercut, right click out. You're not doing the cooldowns correctly, the rotation. I'm pretty sure you know the Doomfist, the two ways you can engage on with Doomfist. You right click in, uppercut, E out, or you E uppercut and then right click out. But why'd you wait? You're perfect distance to just go for an upper or for an E.
Payload is approaching its destination.
There's no point using your right click there. That's what fucked you over. You misused your right click, and then you had no escape. Because that would have been good. Because you forced personal and you forced Fade. You right click out, and you engage with your cooldowns back up.
Get into position.
That's picky of me to call that out. But I mean,
30 seconds.
a big difference between like Diamond and Master or Plat and Master is just the uses of abilities, uses of your kit, positioning, making sure you're constantly getting an advantage. Like it's just its ability usage is very, 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 very important. You know, I don't want to like what's a better word? I don't want to like just keep calling you out about this or like just keep going and over about it. But I can't say it enough that ability usage is very, very important. I don't get why you're on Soldier here. You also, as Soldier, could be playing over here. Or at least, like, just peeking. Just shooting at them for a little bit and then running away. Just creating a threat.
Helden sterben nicht. Огонь по готовности.
Oh my goodness. The whole point. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go over this. Okay. So, I think after watching you play this map, which is, it was very interesting. It's very interesting. There are a lot of things I want to go over, but I think the key number one thing is thing. Oh my goodness, I do not want to be Southern. Your positioning needs work. I don't know if you want me, because I don't know if you have a scrim tonight, but I can watch your positioning or watch you play, like any Thursdays or Saturday, if you want, and just keep calling you out on it because your position needs to change. You need to be taking advantage of high ground. You need to be taking advantage of off angles. You need to be trying, like maybe practicing going on blanks some in like in scrims or in quick play. I'm sorry my voice today. It feels very awful to talk. It doesn't feel like my actual voice, which sucks. It feels awful. But anyway, your positioning needs some work. Make sure work on like taking high ground more, taking advantage of high ground, off angles, trying to figure out, okay, how can I put the enemy team in a crossfire? Like how can I enable my team by creating like a pressure point or creating a lot of pressure? Just some of that stuff. And if you want, I can go more in depth over it with you. Um, I think second is just your ability usage. I'm just gonna say cooldowns. I can't spell. I can't spell. Okay. Your cooldowns. It needs you need to be more disciplined with them. And you need to be kind of like making sure you're using them correctly. Like sonicking before you go for a dragon. Or using your E like when you're going against a somber, like there's no reason for you to E. You want to be trying to confirm a kill on her. Worst thing you're gonna do is you're gonna miss a shot. She's gonna translocate out. You're gonna hit a body shot. She translocates out, or you one shot kill her. Like it's just understanding better usage of cooldowns, better usage of your abilities. And then 3, I would work on just what's the word? What is the word? Not pre-aiming, but like aiming in front more. Like just tracking and making sure that you're the correct distance for like going for a Hanzo arrow for like a projectile. It's making sure that you're God, I can't remember the word. I'm so sorry. Making sure that you're like crosshairs in front, the correct distance. That's the best way I can say it. And then I would just work on like aim a bit more because like on some of these like situations, you were at an advantage point, but you flicked around and it didn't really look like whenever you're like shooting at a Rhine shield, you always want to be shooting at a certain target, not just the Rhine shield. You don't want to be shooting into a mass of people. You want to be shooting at one person in particular or focusing someone down. Because once the shield goes down, then you're just shooting into a mass of people and you're not really shooting to kill. You're just shooting to deal damage. You want to be focusing someone out. So like if you're looking at a Rhine shield, here's Reinhardt on a more I don't know, McCree Symmetra. You want to be singling like let's say you want to single Ana out. You want to be aiming right here and you're still breaking the shield. It's like playing Widow. You're just going to be aiming at the person through the shield, still breaking the shield. But once that shield drops, it's an easy kill. It's confirmed. You're going to easy kill. You're going to land the shot. You're not just be shooting into a mass of people doing nothing. What's another example? I guess just because like in a lot of times your aim was fine. It's just just getting better at predicting people or like just analyzing their movement. I think and it's just only like one case I saw that. I didn't watch your aim a lot, but that Baptiste, for example, like just predicting just like, okay, Baptiste is gonna run. Then there's boxes here. Baptiste is right here. And then here's the doors. This is at the end of King's Row, third point. Baptiste isn't gonna run over here. He's obviously gonna go to the left to the cover and away from you guys. So don't fucking put your crosshair over here to the right and then try and flick over. You want to make it easier on yourself. Like I don't know if you're trying to set up a shot, but just make it easier on yourself. Aim before them, in front of them. It's like playing Widow. A good tip on Widow is just placing your crosshair and making them walk into it, or placing it to where they're gonna walk into it because it makes it easier on you. Because if you're gonna just keep trying to hit a target that's going back and forth this way, it's just gonna you trying to flick and follow their movement. It's gonna make it really hard to hit the shot. When it's better, it's like if a tracer's striping left and right. It's better to just place place your crosshair at a point where they're eventually going to walk into it and go for a shot. That's actually a tip in Karku's video. Like, I think it was the old Widow. But hopefully that, just be more patient. Is it not erasing? It's not. Okay. Be more patient with your shots. Make it easier yourself by just either aiming in front of them or just not, like when you're trying to set up flicks. Don't. The head's right here. They'll try and flick from here when they're obviously going to go this way. You're just making it harder on yourself. I think that's it. Like the biggest issue of this VOD was your positioning. You weren't a threat. You weren't, I don't want to be rude, but I'm just being honest. You weren't a threat in most fights. You weren't really, you just weren't a threat. You weren't getting enough value. You weren't putting enough pressure on them. You weren't scary. And you're a character that can burst down a shield, burst down a tank in like literally seconds. You're a character that has the ability to sonic somewhere and see where the enemy's going and even put it on someone and it just follows them. You're a character with the ability to one shot from just any range you want. And you just weren't a threat the entire game. And I think that's something you need to work on. It's just trying to exploit people understanding, okay, it's better for me to hold high ground because I can create a crossfire and I'm creating more pressure on them. I'm a threat. Because when you're just hiding behind Ryan's shield, you're not a threat. You're just not as big of a threat as if you were playing from up here instead of just playing from behind your Ryan. If you get what I mean. I'm gonna just show you the best. Let me just clear my screen. Do I have a bot? I'm gonna pause real quick and see if I have a bot I can show you.
Marked by the dragon. Marked by the dragon.
I heard you.
Ahorita regreso.
For your own safety, get behind the barrier.
With every death comes honor. With honor, redemption. I'm on fire.